So recently I was having coffee with a friend of mine, and I guess calling him a friend is generous at most. At best, it's an acquaintance. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And number one is Justin is a handful. He can be real trouble. And love him to death, but he's one of those people that I like to see in small amounts. He's one of those people that whenever I see him, I'm like, why did I do this again? Tell me why I did this. Because he's never wrong. Everybody's out to get him. It's a plot again. There's a lot of things that go on with it. And, it's the kind of thing where if we go out to eat and I get food and my food comes before him, it's a plot to get him. The waitress hates him, or the cook hates him, or it's a personal attack. However, if his food comes out first and mine comes out last, it's not. So I don't know. Got to pick your lane there. Given all of that, and you probably have a Justin or two in your life, and given all that, when he said to me the other day, gotta tell you a story. I had a bad experience with a business. I was shocked. First of all, I was like, Justin have a bad experience with a business? I mean, pshaw. And then I leaned in and I said, do tell me more. Don't leave anything out. I want all the details. And boy, did he tell me it all. Let it out. He let it rip. And we'll get into it right after this. We'll talk more about Justin and why he's a handful. Hey there, so welcome back. As I was saying, I was recently chatting with a friend of mine, again, I keep using friend, acquaintance of mine, Justin. And while we were having coffee, he told me he was having a bad experience with a business. And I was living for it because, Justin brings great, horrible stories to me all the time that just, I'm eating the popcorn as I'm listening to him and thinking, you really need to listen to yourself. Do you see what everybody else is seeing? Because clearly you're not. And if you did, you wouldn't be behaving in this fashion. So, but yeah, I knew Justin had a juicy story, so I wanted to get into it with him. I wanted to hear all the details. And so I sat down in my chair, got really super comfy, and let him go. Now, one of the things that we're dealing with here is Justin is what we would call in the biz, your typical problem child, okay? And they are that kind of consumer that you don't see very often, much like friendships. I don't want to spend a lot of time with him because when I do, he's exhausting, he's draining, he eats up all of my time and energy. He's also one of those persons that seems to see problems wherever he goes. Like I said, it's if his food comes out late, it's the waitress is out to get him, the cook is out to get him, the restaurant hates him. If anybody else is in the party comes out late, he's like, oh, sucks to be you, like that kind of consumer. And you all have a problem child consumer in your business, at least one. If you're probably listening to this and you're probably following Sell the Experience, the goal, is to have less problem children and more super fans and casual consumers. And that's where we want to go with all of this. And Justin is our typical problem child. That's, he behaves in those ways that we don't want to foster that in our business. We don't want to grow in that way. We don't want to work with those types of people. We want to work with people who are ideal and right for our business. And so, as I was saying, he kind of started off on the tail, and he said, well, I was working in the yard, and I needed a dingle hopper, and the dingle hopper I had broke. I was in the middle of something, and so I had to run out to the store and get it. And he decided to go, there's a little independent retailer down the street from him, small little mom and pop place, you know, maybe 2 or 3 people, 5 people most working there, which was closer than the big box chain store across town, because that was going to be a journey and a destination. He thought, oh, well, I can just go over here, pop in, pop back out, and get what I need. Now, I'm not Professor X, you're not Professor X, you can't read minds, but you can, knowing Justin as you do, as I have told you about him, you can kind of see where this is headed, right? Like we all know where this is going. We can totally see the truck coming at us, and it's not going to be any surprise when we get rammed over it. And that, again, is one of the hallmarks of your problem child consumer, is they have these wild assumptions and expectations. And Justin's number one problem, the number one bad decision Justin made, or the incorrect assumption Justin had, was that all businesses sell and offer the same goods and services. If you are in an industry, you must, if for example, you're a dingle hopper store, you probably sell every kind of dingle hopper under the sun by every person that makes it. And we all shop brand specific. We all have a brand that we like. We all have a brand that we choose. And just because Joe Big Box Retailer carries brand Dingle Hopper Plus doesn't mean that the small independent retailer is going to carry it, right? Like, we're adults, we all get that, we all know that. And there's a number of reasons for that. And it could be something like, you know, partnership agreements and quantity purchases, you know, quantity maximums and minimums and all of that stuff. It's something that if you know business, or you're in business, or spent 5 minutes in business, you get, but that ain't my boy Justin. That's not Justin in any way, shape, or form, all right? Because why? Say it with me. Justin is a problem child, right? He's pain in the ass. And now, Justin mentioned to me, and knowing him as I do, I can totally picture it all in my head. However, what I was picturing probably was not the scenario that was playing out in his head while he was telling the story. It probably was a slightly different. In his story, he's the hero. He plays the hero in his story. In my story, he was the villain. Not that there's a hero or a villain in any of this. And so I have no doubt in my mind that Justin popped into the store and was just frantic looking for his brand of dingle hopper, okay? And he was running around that store like Indiana Jones hunting down treasure. He was going crazy. Now, the problem is that Justin assumed that everybody carries the same products, so they would have the dingle hopper that he was looking for. He also had a problem in the fact that he was coming in hot, all right? He was annoyed because he was interrupted doing something that he had to run out and get a very necessary piece of machinery, a tool, the dingle hopper, to be able to complete it. And things were sitting back in his house incomplete, and it was stressing him out, okay? So before he even gets to the business, he's already kind of set up expectations and assumptions. Because he is in a hurry, he needs to get out of there. He assumes it's going to be a bop in and bop out situation. All right? That's not how it goes. That's not how it ever goes. I have never been able to like bop in and bop out. Rarely if ever. Now, in his head, he has an expectation that this is going to be the scenario. He'll pull up, he'll walk in, he'll buy his dingle hopper, he'll pay for it, he'll go home, he'll finish his work. 15 minutes tops, all right? Now, that could happen, that might happen, and it could have happened if he had gone to the big box retailer. Maybe, who knows? But it certainly wasn't gonna happen in this scenario because they didn't carry Justin's brand of dingle hopper. He liked a certain specific dingle hopper and they didn't have it. And as he's running around the store like a crazy person looking for it, he finally decides he's going to ask a sales associate, do you guys sell brand X Dinglehoppers? And unless that sales associate said yes, it was going to send Justin down. Let me back up for a second. Whatever response the clerk had, whatever response the sales associate gave him was going to dictate how the rest of this story played out. If they said, and it was a choose your own adventure kind of thing, right? If they say yes, Justin will be happy, he'll get his Dinglehopper, he'll leave, he'll go home, boom. His expectations will have been met. If they say no, we got a problem. The lights start flashing, danger, 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 problem child alert, because now reality and expectations have crashed into each other, and what Justin thought was going to be a 5-10 minute bop in, bop out, now the clock is ticking. He's not getting what he wants. He's not coming in and out. It's adding to his frustration. It's adding to his annoyance. He's feeling even more overwhelmed, and it's causing all of these bad situations. Now, the small retailer does not carry that brand of Dinglehopper for whatever reason. And like I said, it could be supply agreements. It could be whatever. There are millions and one reasons that every business doesn't carry every product. And that's fine. They don't have to. They don't have to. Now, what happened is Justin went up to the clerk, associate on the floor, and said, do you carry this? And they said, no, sorry, we don't. Now, however kind, however professional, it could have been Mother Teresa telling him no. That is not the answer Justin wanted. That is not the answer Justin was looking for. And Justin was not going to be happy until he heard yes. So already he's in an agitated state. The sales associate says, but we have this brand over here. It's just as good. Actually, it's better rated. It's more same price as your Dinglehopper, etc., etc. Really kind of sees it as a teachable moment and sells it to him. Okay. Now, Justin is in the process of processing information. Okay, his little mind is going like a 1970s UNIVAC computer. You know, beep 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 beep. He doesn't know what's going. He's kind of swirling and whirling. He's like, fine, I'll take it, because time is not on his side. He is feeling stressed because there's stuff half finished at home. There may be things out on the whatever this. He's overwhelmed. He's stressed. He's annoyed. He's not feeling it. He's not in a place of good. Now, as he's strutting up to the counter, and my boy Justin, if anything, he's got eyes like a bat. Well, he doesn't have eyes like a bat. Bats don't have good eyes. He's got eyes like a hawk. That's a better analogy. We'll go with hawk. And he sees a huge sign that says 50% off sale. Okay. All right. So I took a little bit of the sting out of the fact that they didn't have his Dinglehopper, but that clerk should have mentioned it. I don't know why they didn't mention it. But yeah, I'm gonna get it on sale, so that takes some of the sting away. Now, Hawkeye there, he didn't see that it was brand exclusive. It was a different brand Dinglehopper than the one he was purchasing, because the brand was paying for the advertising and reimbursing the business for the sale. So it was a very brand specific. It wasn't Dinglehoppers in general. It was very much by brand C. Dinglehopper will give you 50% off. All right. It's on there. Hawkeye just didn't see it. All right. Justin gets to the counter, and come on, we all know where this is going. We can feel it. We can see it. It's like a train barreling down on us. He gets to the cash register. The cashier starts to ring him up. Beep. Up on the keypad flashes the price, and bam, another hit with reality. That price isn't right. That's not a right price. That's on sale. I need to get the sale price. At which point, where are we at again? We are at a choose your own adventure point. Whatever happens here will dictate Justin's reaction. Will he go more problem child? Will he go more casual consumer? what is going to happen here. The person ringing him up, the associate at the cash wrap, doesn't know anything that's going on. They don't know Justin's story. All they know is some man is standing in front of them looking to buy a dingle hopper that he thinks is on sale. And they kindly say, sorry, but this brand of dingle hopper is not part of the sale. It's excluded from it. It is a brand exclusive sale specifically to those dingle hoppers. Would you like me to go get you one of those dingle hoppers? And then I can give you the 50% off on it. Now, again, Justin's processing. Justin is like, beep, 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 boop, 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 and nothing is coming through it, because all he can hear is, I'm not getting what I want. I've got stuff that I need to do. I need to get back home. I'm not getting what I want. Everybody's getting in my way, etc., etc., etc. And so his pain point is becoming more and more painful. All right. It's the equivalent to having not only just stepping on the Lego, but having it stuck in your foot for a little bit. I don't know how you would do that, but imagine that pain. So he's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Now, this is where the problem child can really start to go crazy, because Justin has two options. Justin has quite a few options here. As the problem child, he has a few options. He can either say, okay, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't on sale. That's fine. I'll take that at 50% off, or I'll take this one at full price. It doesn't matter. I just need to get back. I'm in the middle of something, and if I don't get back, it's gonna get, whatever. That's option one. Justin also could be like, you know what? Is that one is just as good as this one? All right, yeah, and that one's 50% off. Fuck it, I'll take that one. Give me that one. I'll take that one. All right, 50% off. I get what I want. Boom, I'm out. Okay. Even if it is less quality than the one that he had, say it breaks in 6 months, he is okay with that because he got it on sale. He got it, there are a lot of factors on it. The third option, which most problem children tend to choose, is to go fully ballistic. He's going to just lose it on this poor associate, start yelling and screaming at them for whatever reason. Now, a couple of things are going on here. All right. First of all, the person at the cash register is just the messenger. They have no control over what's on sale. All they know is you bringing this thing up to the cash register. They're ringing it up. They're telling you what the computer says, not them, the computer, and then relaying that information to you. If you weren't told something on the floor, or if you had a wrong assumption, that is not that person's fault. All right. Now, could there be an argument made that the floor associate should have told Justin this dingle hopper is the same, is equal or equivalent to the one you're looking at, but it's on sale? Maybe, possibly. The other side of it is, maybe just because the business, it's, just because there's a sale on it, and just because the brand is paying for the sale, doesn't mean that it's a better product or service. Maybe the one that Justin has is the best one that he can get at the moment, and the one that's on sale, the reason they're putting it on sale is because it's kind of on the crappy side and it breaks pretty easy and doesn't have much life to it. And maybe the sales associate thought, you know what, Justin seems like the kind of guy that he's going to need long term, so I'm going to promote this one to him because I don't want him to get a piece of cheap ass stuff. That is the argument that can be made there. Now, yes, the clerk should have said something, and that's fine that they didn't. It's okay. Because in their mind, what they were thinking was, this isn't the best product for him, this one is, so I'm going to sell him the one that I think is best for him and solves the problem that he's facing at the moment. Justin is your typical problem child, and problem child are born in the area of incorrect assumptions, inaccurate expectations, okay? they think something is going to happen. They come to your business with a set of experiences and background and expectations that have been formed over a very long period of time. All right. So, for example, and the one I always use all the time is dry cleaners. So, if they go to a dry cleaner and they have a bad experience, and so they switch to a dry cleaner and they have a bad experience for the same problem, and they go to a third dry cleaner, there is going to be a pretty good chance that they are going to be micromanaging the third person because the two other people caused a problem. They have an expectation that when they bring this thing into you as a dry cleaner, that there's going to be a problem with it. They're already preparing for that potential argument, that potential fight, that potential disagreement. And the other side, opposite that, is they may think, like Justin, I'm going to pop in, I'm going to pop out, the store will have everything that I need. Within 10 minutes, I'll be back to, fixing whatever I needed to fix or cut the lawn or whatever it is that he was doing. But reality clashed into that, banged into it, and totally disrupted everything. And that's where the problem child comes from. It's when that reality meets up with expectations and assumptions, and boom, when they don't match, people get pissed. It's really no one's fault. Like, it's not the problem child's fault, because you can kind of understand, okay, well, if this has happened before, then they're starting to see a pattern and they're kind of getting afraid of things. So another really great example is when I used to do design work, and I would say to somebody, okay, there's like a $50 deposit or something. It was like super cheap, and they would be like, are you going to take the deposit and run like everybody else? And so they had this, and I don't know how often that happened. I personally don't know any designers that do that, but according to a few customers, it was quite prevalent. I don't know where their expectation came from. I don't know where that assumption came from, but I had to deal with it. And once I realized that that was something that was out there, I could be prepared to deal with it with Problem Child and diffuse it in a way that made sense. But you need to know what's out there. You need to know that. That in itself is the core of the Problem Child. And so the way to correct that, the way to fix that, is to challenge their expectations and their assumptions. And so the best way to do that is to never make an assumption. And in one way, what could have diffused Justin is what could have been a better solution for Justin, and is that the sales associate mentioned all of the products. Now, again, you have to kind of read the room. Was Justin ready to hear about 4 different types of dingle hoppers and all the benefits and the pros and the cons? No, he just wanted to come in and get out, and he was looking for something that was the equivalent of what he had. And so he came in with expectations, he set up the dynamic, and so then it was kind of banging heads. In this scenario where I think things could have gotten a little bit better was if the sales associate had mentioned, this product is I don't recommend it over this one. Given what you've told me in when I'm talking to you, I recommend this one, but this one is on sale. It will get you through the day, but I don't know if like 6 months from now, you're not going to be back in here looking for a dingle hopper. And it's with the problem with most problem children, there is a way to diffuse that. They are going to come in, they're usually going to hit your store or your business because you are the closest, what they think is the cheapest, the easiest, whatever it is. Like, had Justin gone 20 minutes out of his way to the big box retailer, he would have gotten the dingle hopper he wanted at the same price he paid for the one at the small place. He just would have wasted more time and energy, and he would have been annoyed by that. Okay, so there's that aspect of the whole thing. The other side of the problem child problem is you are just, as Alfred says, and I think it was in one of the Dark Knight movies, some people just want to watch the world burn, and you are going to get problem children that just come in to be a problem. Okay. They're annoyed for whatever reason. They're coming in looking for something that you don't have, you don't carry. Just because you're in the same industry as somebody doesn't mean you have all the same products as that other business. Just because you're in, I'm sure there are nail salons that offer different services than each other. Like, you need to set yourself apart, and you don't always offer the same things. And so you're going to get people that are annoyed like that. I drove all the way over here. I thought. That's another key characteristic of the problem child, is you get things like, every other business does it. I thought, most stores, most places, every other person I know, why can't you do this? All of there's always this sort of like vague everybody out there that you're supposed to, like, I guess, be shamed into joining. Like, everybody else does it, so you should do it, but if it's not right for your business, you shouldn't do it. Okay, so that's Justin got the Dingle Hopper that was on sale. Didn't last very long. I think he told me it lasted like 3 weeks, but hey, he got it on sale, and he kind of bopped in and bopped out. It was a little bit longer than he wanted, but he got it. But those are the problem children. They kind of can drive you crazy. They can drive you up a wall, and you think, oh my God, how do I get them out of my business? Like, what can I do to make their stay shorter? And the goal is, we want to reduce that. Now, the problem with the problem child, again, is they have inaccurate expectations and assumptions. And like every other consumer, unless they're a super fan, they may not be right for the experience that you offer. And that might be the other side of it. They drove out of their way to come to you because they thought you offered an experience that you don't. But the key component here is always that they're going to be hot and salty. One quick last thing is, if you're going to engage, if you see somebody starting to become a problem child, and you can usually see it, it's sort of like the Hulk starting out. You can kind of tell that they're in a problem child way. Do not get emotional with them. The best way to deal with that is factually. Just, hey, I'm really sorry. And just say, hey, I'm sorry, Mike should have mentioned this to you. He didn't. I'm really sorry about that. Here's what I can do. All right. Cede some ground to the problem child, but don't cede it all, because if you cede more, wherever they think they can take an inch, they're going to take a yard. So be very careful when you say, give them a little bit of power. All right. Don't give them too much. Give them a little bit of empowerment, but not too much. All right. So other than that is kind of the problem child in a nutshell. That's kind of, sadly, the clients we want less of, to be honest with you. So there's not a lot of like, okay, we're going to recruit them, we're going to get more out of them, we're going to get, there is some redeemable qualities in them, and they are worth marketing and selling to. But you also have to be very selective with who you choose as your problem child and who you don't. Solutions to some common crazy problems that we all face.